talk about like mid pair. How should we play mid pair? Call, call, call. Yeah. So actually, this is a spot where I think we can mix our mid pair. I would be a lot happier to raise mid pair than a lot of top pairs, especially when it's like one high card, two low cards. So what do I mean by this? So I'm talking about, and we can check in like GTO what it would be doing quickly. I'm talking about a board like, Jack 5-2. Okay? In this situation, we might have a 5, right? So Jack 5-2, rainbow. Let's say that it's like a 2.5x pot, and the guy is block betting. So as we see, in general, villain should be betting half pot. Or like, yeah, block betting is also fine, but it should be either block bet or half pot. So I don't think that we should be, like, small blind should be c betting a ton, like almost always. And let's say he's betting a block bet instead of half pot. And as we see over here, second pair is being raised more often than top pair. Like top pair is being raised 30% of the time, and GTO is raising second pair 46% of the time. And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like GTO we want to raise hands that are kind of more vulnerable. So, but we still have value, and if we call, we don't want to get blown off our equity. Because if we just call on the turn, this is a board that villain can just barrel a shit ton. Like on pretty much any overcard, villain can just barrel. And what do we do with our 5? Do we just like blindly call down? It's kind of hard to blindly call down. And that's why it really benefits us to like raise with a bunch of 5s. And we see GTO is raising Queen 5 plus basically always. And it's even raising some like 5-3, 5-4, like some backdoor combos. Backdoor straight draw combos. And to be honest, like it's not like a huge mistake. Like the difference between raising like 8-5 and calling is, again, it's really close. It's not like a huge mistake to raise even like a mediocre mid pair. So, there's like, as an exploit, I would be raising most of my 5s against the population. And that way we don't have to raise. Do I not raise King Jack? No, I'd raise King Jack just for value against fish usually. Against fish, I would rather raise King Jack and use these to bluff catch. Although I do understand why GTO is raising these rather than when it's got an overcard. It's because like the overcards don't need to. It needs less protection, obviously. But against fish, I'd rather raise stack off with these because they just get it in too much with the worst jacks, and they don't bluff enough. Whereas, like, if it's raising something like Jack 9, it's never going to fold. But against the fish, I feel like it's going to be pretty close. Like, I wouldn't want to raise call, Jack 9, for example. And that's why I'd rather call against the fish. But yeah, as you see, raising with a 5 should be something we should do quite often. We can also look at how we react against half pot. So against half pot, it's the same principle. It still prefers to raise with fives rather than jacks. Yeah, and I think it's really good to do to raise mid pair here, don't you? Like, I don't like calling with my five here because they just it's hard to call down with this if they triple barrel, and they're going to triple barrel a lot on this run out. Exactly. On turns and rivers, it becomes a guessing game. Maybe because when overcard comes on the turn, we can call more happily turn and river. Well, yes, this is why it's calling King Jack and Queen Jack a lot. That's correct. Um, but against fish, fishes, firstly, they don't barrel enough, so I would be fine, like, folding more. And I'm still not, like, those cards won't come too often, and they raise call too much with, they raise get it in too much with weak hands, and I don't want to raise fold, as I said. So with a fish, I usually would not be, I'd be doing the opposite with my jacks. I'd be raising my strong jacks against fish. I mean, it's not like Jack 10 is weak, but you know. Easy game if they re-raise. Yeah, and we can check back on the turn. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Good. Um, so yeah, mid pair is definitely a hand you want to consider raising at least.